sun still shining, drawing up a little bit of that moisture. It was definitely heavy throughout the afternoon. They kept putting water on it. The drivers on the track: Will Harrington, Caden Mullenix, Trey Mills, Ross Bales, Jordan Kohler, Steve Banal, and I believe even the two out there, or three, excuse me, of Brent Robinson. He is. Man, that 14 of Will Harrington. Hawkinsville Hawk out there in that race car. He's got brand new shirts. If you haven't checked out the new shirts, they're a throwback to when his dad raced, and obviously he's still racing. And his social media ripe with all of that. Really, really cool shirt. Trey Mills, Ross Bales the quickest, a 15.449 out of that bunch. Harrington came in second. Jordan Kohler, Mills, Banal, and Robinson. Got an opportunity to talk to the St. Clairsville, Ohio driver, Steve Banal. He was scheduled to come out last night. Thought, well, you know, I'm in competition, racing more races. I want my equipment to really fit the track, and he felt his equipment fit better here than there, and that's why he chose it. But Ross Bales.
Yeah, Ross Bales, I mean, that's going to be a big name to look out for. Ton of laps here.
Everybody thinks that Ben Watkins is going to double up. Well, obviously he had problems last night,
Correct.
So now he's got to be the favorite here. But
Ross Bales is one to watch. The boss, Ross Bales, they call him the boss for a reason. He knows how to get it done at the place your mama warned you about.
Look at that great new wrap for Clay Knight, honoring his dad and such. The Barron's logo on front of it. Michael Leach from Montana. If you weren't here yesterday watching the race from Lancaster, we have a driver joining us from Montana who will get on a plane tomorrow, fly out to out west, and be racing in IMCA race cars Monday through Friday. And Chris Ferguson, how about Fergie time? He's won a bunch here.
Yeah, Chris Ferguson right here. You know, this is a situation where you're going to find some Chris Ferguson fans in the building tonight, and they're hoping that clock strikes Fergie time by the end of the 50-lapper tonight.
Welcome those joining us on Facebook Live, our Dirt Draft Live look-in. And you're looking at the little head knocker, Trent Ivy, Union, South Carolina. One of the villas close to here in Gaffney, the 74 car. He wasn't with us last night, but he's here from Bakersfield, California. Ethan Dotson in that ASD machine. I saw him working on tires back there and everything. This is another one of the local favorites there.
Downtown Michael Brown in the 24D. Michael Brown is another one of those sleepers in this field. Don't get caught up in some of the big names you've seen. Michael Brown has gotten the job done here before, and he's looking to see if he can strike gold tonight as well.
The Boo Crew from Newport, Tennessee, Josh Henry. One of those guys that everybody cheers for in the garage area. There's the driver from Montana. That is Michael Leach. And we're up and underway in our Dirt Draft Hot Laps group number 2. I believe there's 5 groups here that will go. They are flying around this racetrack.
This track is ready for speed tonight. The track crew, they've worked all week. I mean, it's been days of preparation, even up until moments before drivers meeting, making sure they keep the moisture in it. It's going to be fast for tonight.
Yeah, I know last night at Lancaster, they said that they had 100 truckloads of water on it. I got to believe you guys have been putting that much on or more, as much as I've seen the trucks out there.
Yes, Chad Wilson in the game, Cody Clay, they're part of our track crew. They live and breathe this. They sleep at night, or don't go to sleep at night thinking about track prep.
Trent Ivy to the top of the board right now, a 15:40.07 out of this group. Can the little head knocker hold on to it? It's checkered flag. Everything will cycle through, we'll make sure. But right now, with his dad, Petey, a little bit under the weather at home. He's watching from home. Hey, your kid did pretty darn good there without you, Daddy.
Oh, Trent Ivy. I know not the night he wanted last
No.
night, looking for a big bounce back tonight. And that is another one. He's been to Victory Lane multiple times. Big March Madness winner earlier in the year. Trent Ivy, the little head knocker, he could be the one to watch.
And I can tell you, if you're on the highway tonight and we're calling a race with Trent winning the feature or getting close to it, get out of the way from Union to Gaffney, because Big Petey will be coming here. He want to go to Victory Lane with his son, I'm sure. The 16 car, Sam Seawright, one of our top points getters, top 3 in points. Had a decent night last night. Ended up with a 5th place, I believe. The 11 out there is Casey Roberts, the former Ultimate Super Late Model Series champion. We should see the points leader in that series right now, the 18 Machina Gray Parton. Rutherford in North Carolina. Beautiful waterfalls there. I know you've got the young baby and the wife and all. You ever want to go somewhere or really see some sights that are non-races? Here's the 17, though. How about that? The 17 machine jumping out onto the racetrack. That is the South Carolina driver, I think late on my sign-in sheet here. We'll jump back and see if we could find it. But certainly a bunch of drivers out, and that is the 101. There's Casey Roberts, the 101. I was thinking the 11 was Jimmy Johnson and not the NASCAR Jimmy Johnson, the Georgia Jimmy Johnson. There is Ashton Winger from Hampton, Georgia, and the 12. He had a strong night when it was strong last night. Just didn't finish it out there in the spot I'm sure he wanted, and Jeff Smith got that spot.
Yeah, Ashton Winger, we saw him earlier. He's been working all afternoon trying to make that 12 car go fast, and now the green flag back out underway.
Yeah, he was rattling Trey Mills' cage, and Trey was giving it right back to him as Ashton was working on the race car and a couple of the young guns in this one. Speaking of young guns, Gavin Cowan here, the South Carolina driver Rincon, Georgia, came up through the Sharp Mini late models.
That's a unique path. I mean, they're big around here, especially in Georgia, but man, I would not have projected that to be the path for a kid to start.
Yeah. Little Winger up front right now, worldwide. His dad got to be pretty happy with that. Sam Seawright, third, a 15.506 for Air Force Ashton Winger.
Air Force Ashton Winger. I'll be showing a quick speed here.
Yeah, that's him there.
Yep, Casey Roberts in second. But yes, Winger right there. We talked about it. They were jabbing each other earlier, but Winger, I'm sure he would like to put on a show here. I believe top 5 in points right now.
Yeah.
Battling his way, trying to play a role in that championship.
Well, last year at this time, he was running the Summer Nationals Tour all across the Midwest, the one they call the Hell Tour. If you haven't heard about it, it is like 30 races in 29 days or some mathematics that I can't do well to begin with. But he won that series and chose to come to the Hunt Front Super Dirt Series this year to see how he matched up there. Looks like some of the local divisions scooting out of the infield while another group of the Hunt Front Super Dirt Series comes out. Ethan Wilson from Fayetteville, his brother, Big Perm, up there in Lernerville trying to run. Jackson Heiss, the 388 car, coming out onto the racetrack. He is our ATC Bolts Rookie of the Year points leader. And I believe he got it last night. Benji Hicks, the double nickel. Got an opportunity to chat with him. Always a pleasure. One of the great guys in the pit area. Mount Airy, North Carolina. His chassis company taken off. They did a big promotion with Natural Bridge Speedway up in Virginia. And how about this guy? Big Sexy. Wasn't a Big Sexy night last night. Had problems with a tire and then an engine part. And I know you had a chance to chat with him. Is he ready for tonight? Well, I'll just leave it there.
Trust me, he is ready to go tonight. And he's in an interesting position. We'll hit on that a little bit later in the night. But Brandon Overton, he is geared up and ready to win $20,000.
Oh, so you've got more information we'll be talking about?
We've got a little something up his sleeve.
Okay, we'll do it in qualifying. Big A, Anthony Sanders on the racetrack, the M&W Trucking Sanders race car. And there's the 33 from Jeremy Fowler, Landrum, South Carolina. Fowler with a crate motor?
I believe so, yes.
Underpowered. That may be a big story because that ain't a crate motor in the 76.
That is not. Overton rolling down the backstretch in a turn number 3 of that 76 machine by Wells.
I've seen that. Well, anyway, Josh Putnam, the points champion from last season, and Wilson, the quickest out of that one. How about Jackson Heiss? Jackson Heiss is going to sneak in and get on a podium, and then it won't be long before he wins one of these things. He is a phenomenal talent who has come a long way in just a short amount of time this season. His rookie year, Benji Hicks, Josh Putnam, Brandon Overton, 22nd lap.
Yeah, and really, if you look at the lap times, a lot of differential here. Got to be curious something going on the racetrack. But yeah, you talk about that Overton, not with the lap time you would expect here early.
A lot of sun peeking through the trees. Is that a visual problem for sometimes here at Cherokee?
Definitely a balance the drivers have to consider, especially coming off of turn 2. The sun is beaming down there, especially as you're rocking down the backstretch. Obviously, you get in the shade in the back half of the racetrack.
Wow, look at Jackson Heiss just gassing it. That wasn't the case at the Talladega Short Track where he was starting to come in. Now over it goes to the top of the pops there. Wilson takes it back. This is fun just in hot laps, Dirt Draft hot laps. You're watching the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series on Hunt the Front TV. If you're not already a subscriber, you're watching our Dirt Draft live look-in, get the subscription. This is where the fun is in dirt late model racing, in Super Dirt race cars. Man, that is Dotson, the Californian from Bakersfield. You know, Rick Mears came from Bakersfield. So did Kevin Harvick and Ethan Dotson, another one in that long line of hot shoes. Overton jumps back up to the top, 15-19. He found his giddy up there.
Yeah, you got to be thinking maybe those first couple of laps wasn't comfortable, something there. We did see a brief kind of a caution or so on the racetrack. Got to be curious there, but now back to the charts for Big Sexy.
Yes, indeed. I can't wait for you to tell us the inside scoop when we get enough time to talk about it, maybe in qualifying time. Caution on the Speedway for this group. We'll bring the next group out, and we should be getting just about towards the end of our groups. It looks like this will be the last one of the Hunt the Front Super Late Models in our Dirt Draft Hot Laps, our Dirt Draft Live Look-In from Cherokee Speedway, Gaffney, South Carolina, right off of Interstate 85. You see the big car up on the pedestal as you pass by, flying up towards North Carolina or back down towards Georgia. Always a big show when you come here to Cherokee Speedway. And we're looking at Zach Mitchell, a driver that's won a number of races here. He is on camera, Enery, South Carolina. Second place last night for him. The 2-car, man, there's a legend.
Dennis Rambo Franklin. He's been running around this place for a long time. Multiple championships when it comes to Clash and Ultimate. He knows how to get it done. I know he hadn't been happy with the performance, but they look to make a change tonight.
Performance last night, Donald McIntosh had it, and it went away from him before the finish. But this 79 car is sitting on go. It's got a lot of speed in it. We'll see if they were able to put it back in the race car. He digs in. I'm not sure whether he liked the way it felt on that one. Now he starts to get up. There's Big A, Anthony Sanders, charging down the racetrack. Graphics guy by trade. Coming up next, how about this? The 70, Jeff Smith, Dallas, North Carolina, last night's winner on camera at Big Blue. Moving around the racetrack. Second fastest right now, as I believe coming up the charts. You'll see that once it cycles through. And how about the 10? There's JJ. Gator Country, the Flying Floridian, the Kubota tractor machine, Kubota Genuine Parts, the 10 car from down there in Milton, Florida. I was reading Zach Mitchell and trying to say Milton. It didn't work at the same time. Mitchell quickest with a 15:34.4. Watkins, Franklin, Joyner. Pretty nice top four there.
Yeah, Zach Mitchell, he's riding a victory. He's already had a Super Late Model victory here this year with the Ultimate Super Late Model Series back in March. So looking to strike gold for a second time this year. A good look at that Cleary Hood number 57 machine. Mitchell, always a quiet kind of guy, but when he straps that helmet on, he is ready to roar. So
you've got a couple of your local classes coming up, Crown Vics, Extreme 4. Then we do our Invocation National Anthem, and we'll move on to qualifying. And up first will be the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series. So you've got the helm for a little while. Play Captain Kirk, sell some food. Man, those T-shirts for the Rock Alt Memorial are awesome.
They look good down there. You make sure you get one of those souvenirs here this evening here. You want to remember where you were at when history unfolds, and, of course, you can do that down at our T-shirt facility down there. Get those new Rock Alt Memorial T-shirts. We've also got some other souvenirs and collectibles down there as well.
Beautiful looking night here, and just the last little bit of sun on turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4 already draped in shade. So that means the moisture should stay pretty good there. 1 and 2, maybe a spritz to just top it off at some point.
I'm sure Chad and the gang have had a plan for a couple of days. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. And it's something else, folks, to realize if you haven't been here in a while, brand new paint around this place. It's been up for about 2 weeks, but they try to give this place a facelift about once a year, and part of it's in memory of Robin Caldwell. We lost Robin Caldwell, did a lot of the artwork, and he was tech man, a lot of things in this community, but great with the red, white, and blue. Tony Adair said, I really want to go back with the red, white, and blue, very patriotic look here, and got the Indian Head Cherokee. It's been a fantastic night right here. So here we go, rolling on to the Speedway, going to be the Lynx Enterprises Crown Vics, getting ready to go for their hot lap session. Stephen Herring right there in the one machine. He's been a back-to-back winner here in the last couple of weeks. Crown Vic's actually become a weekly points-paying division here over the last couple of weeks. So Herring could be one of the favorites. You see him rolling underneath the flag stand into turn number 1. You got the G41. That's Grant Burton. Burton actually running double duty tonight. Actually be running in the Thunder Bomber division as well in the number 41. So the G41 going to be two-timing here tonight. Burton out of Clinton, South Carolina. He's a track champion over at Lawrence County Speedway. 06 Morgan Milstead at Kannapolis, North Carolina. That's racing country up there in Milstead. Ready to go racing. Good-looking Crown Vic car as well. And these things, one of my favorite things, beating, banging. They put the bumper to each other. And you see the 06 right there off of turn 2, ready to see where they can stack up in tonight's feature event. 10 machine. I believe that is Mr. Justin Watts. Watts, a multi-time winner back in February and early March in that 10 machine. He loves these Crown Vic cars, tries to support us the most he can. A lot of the local racetracks around here. Justin Watts, going to be a fun name to watch here this evening. 52 machine, David Peterson from right here in Gaffney, South Carolina. A little hometown flair, someone to root for down here in the grandstands. A lot of Gaffney, South Carolina representation here at the place your mama warns about. Green flag presented by Mad Designs underway here for hot laps for the Lynx Enterprises Crown Vic's. Got the other 10 machine there. Don't have that name right here on my list. We'll try to catch a name here, but a big pass down into turn number 3. That, I believe, may actually be Watts right there. So we'll go into turns 3 and 4. There's the other 06 Skylar Hyde out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Good-looking race car there. Got the pink rear tail lights, the pink bumper right there. So you can see the pink grill as well. Already under attack from another car. Oh, they're going to dip down low. Almost some two-wide action is the 07 of Peyton Justice at Inman, South Carolina. Good look at Justice's car there as they take the white flag. Stephen Herring there. Justice off the pace. And now some smoke coming out of the 06 of Hyde. Stephen Herring trying to stay from beneath that. Hopefully nothing, no fluid, anything of that type down there. And then the 11 car, Nick Johnson out of Lancaster, South Carolina. Now the Racing Richard checkered flag. Racing Richard, longtime race fan right here at Cherokee Speedway. Even the grandstands in turn 1, the Racing Richard grandstand. So happy to be able to have him represented with our checkered flag for all of our weekly divisions here. So that will do it for, I believe that'll be the one and only Group 4 hot laps for the Crown Vic division. Smoky Mountain Boy Barbecue Extreme 4 front wheel drive. They are coming up next, one of our other weekly paying divisions. Smoky Mountain Boys Barbecue, they are in the building tonight serving up the best chicken wings you could find on race day and, of course, award-winning barbecue. I know they are serving up the good stuff. Maybe we'll get a plate of wings up here before the end of the night, and we'll be able to chow down on those, but they will get you. Folks, it's going to be a fantastic night as we continue to set the scene for the Rock Galt Memorial. Wall to wall, the fans are everywhere right here in Gaffney, South Carolina. It has been a hot one, quite literally right here. Temperatures up in the 90s is now the next field of cars. Defending track champion Dale Bennett in the Bandit car. And finally, Bennett finally found victory lane for the first time in 2024 just a couple of weeks ago. Good to see Bennett back to his winning ways here on May 11th. He went to victory lane. Defending track champion, good to see if he can defend his turf this year. You've got the J5 machine in that car onto the Speedway. P.J. Childers out of Gaffney, South Carolina, and that Red Rocket machine. Childers going to see what he can do. Put on a show here tonight for you race fans. I believe that's an old Chevy Cobalt he's riding with in that J5 car. Got to thank the crew right there, Jesse, Joanna, and more. Smoky Mountain Boys Barbecue, Extreme 4 hot laps. Evan White, he's in that gray number 70 machine. White is getting closer and closer to victory lane out of Stanley, North Carolina. He's had a couple of runner-ups, third, fourth place finishes. That guy is bound and determined to find victory lane for the first time here at Cherokee Speedway. Evan White, he's been quick. Get to see if he can finally put it in Mike Butler victory lane here tonight in that gray number 70 car. .313 machine, that is Rick Dunmeyer from right here in Gaffney as well. A little hatchback action going on with the 313 car. Trevor Russell, they call him Trouble. He's trying to smell trouble here for the competition here tonight. He is in that 12 car on your screen. And, folks, make sure you stay tuned with us all night on huntthefront.tv. We'd be glad to have you ride with us all evening long for the Rock Galt Memorial from right here at Cherokee Speedway. believe that is the 24. Going to try to make that number out there. But you see the red, white, and blue machine coming down the front stretch as cars continuing to get lined up, get prepared to go. Green flag hot lapping here. It looks like that is the 20 car of Landon Davis out of Pauline, South Carolina. Going to roll into turn number 1. Going to talk to one of our track staff, Mr. Ben Messer. Behind him, Seth Smith in the number 4 machine. Actually, excuse me, I believe that's Cody Page. Seth Smith typically in that car. Cody Page looks like he'll be the driver making the start out of Lawrence, South Carolina. Good to see them with a H&S chassis. Behind them going to be the 26 machine, and that is Joe Beam out of York, South Carolina. About an hour, 15, hour and a half up the street. Beam, unmarked car right there. So, hey, you try to find you a driver, you want to get sponsors, you want to be on the race cars, that could be one of the drivers you look for here in that bright white number 26 machine. 58 car, I believe that's going to be Nelson Cunningham here tonight. Cunningham, the owner of the pit stop of Gaffney down in downtown Gaffney. Go get your oil changes there. One of our sponsors here at Cherokee Speedway. His car's looking like they are getting up to speed for the first time here for the Extreme 4 front-wheel drive. And there's Travis Langford. Langford's been to victory lane, I believe, 3 times this year in 2024. Actually flipped last weekend at Windaboro Speedway down in Georgia. Built that car back all week long, right back here at his home track. Also, the service center of Gaffney for a living. That's what he does, tune-ups, brake jobs, heat and AC. He keeps track of your automotive maintenance.
Now, that left rear wheel coming up, that reminds me of Paul Clayton. Yes, because Paul and the SCDRA is coming here next week, aren't they?
They are. 5,000 women. We're looking forward. It's been a while since we've had the SCDRA here at Paul Clayton. I know he likes
So we're
to have
just a warm-up crew for Paul. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
We're the warm-up crew for SCDRA here next week. We see Dale Bennett here on your screen again, defending track champion. Had a bit of a rough year, but is starting to come back around. They're starting to find that speed in that Bandit cars. Now the checkered flag falling, presented by in memory of Racing Richard. Down the front stretch, you see Bennett get a march in turn 1. Travis Langford right now, the quick time in the front-wheel flyer. Langford in the F1 with a 21.021. Cody Page, Evan White right now going to be your top 3s. Dale Bennett starts to slow down to a pace here with the checkered flag fallen. Opening ceremony is going to be rolling up here in just a minute. Prayer and national anthem. I believe we may have one more group of cars to touch the racetrack before we get to that track. Chaplain Rodney Poston making his way up here to the tower. He'll get us ready to roll tonight. Say your prayers for us here in just a moment as I believe final group of cars getting ready to touch the racetrack. Folks, huntthefront.tv. We want to make sure you stay with us all evening long. Going to be multiple stops here at huntthefront.tv at Cherokee Speedway. So we'd love to continue to see you ride with us here this evening as the Rock Galt Memorial returns to the place your mama warned you about. 20,000 to win with the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series. And actually qualifying for the Super Late models coming up here in just a bit. Opening ceremonies, and then we're going to rev them right back up with Hunt the Front Series qualifying. That's going to be exciting.
It really will be, because getting in the right of the heat races and then being able to position yourself for the feature here, that'll be big business. To our Invocation National Anthem coming up here momentarily?
Yeah, it should be here in just a moment. I believe we have one more group, double checking on that, but I believe we have one more group of front-wheel drive cars that got to go. Do see some lined up there in our staging lane outside of turn number 2. A good crop of cars here tonight for the front-wheel drive brigade. I believe 22 front-wheel drives signed in tonight, so almost a full field. And you're liable to have 1 or 2 stragglers come in, join the field here tonight. It's going to be an exciting one, and everyone wanting to play a role in this big show. And rolling off of turn number 2, looks like the first car onto the racetrack. It was actually our points leader right there, Mr. Clayton Seelig. Seelig still trying to find victory lane. He wants to go take some checkered flags home, but still riding P1 in the points position. And obviously one of the crowd favorites, the Hot Wheels car. Seelig always loves that Hot Wheels logo. Mad Designs on the front hood of that machine as well. Langford going to see if he can go to victory lane. Chris Jarrett in the 27 machine. I believe Jarrett had a pretty tough wreck here a few weeks ago or early in the season. He's been back the last couple of weeks. Good to see Jarrett in that 27 machine. Jarrett, of course, the driver out of Taylor's, South Carolina, and he's one of those guys trying to find his way up to the front of the field. Muddy Justin Harris, one of the nicest guys you were going to meet in the pit lane. Justin Harris is always trying to put that Destination Power Sports #1 machine into victory lane. Great guy that loves to help other racers, even the guys he's going to be lining up against week in and week out. So good to see Justin Harris right here at Cherokee Speedway. The 214 machine, Eric McGahee in the Monkey Wrench 214. Good to see him. Brightly colored race car. I love those neon wraps. I'm a sucker for those neon colors. They pop onto the racetrack And then the twinger, Reggie Twing, in the pink and black number 5 machine. I always love the bandanas he has out the back of that race car. Has those flying up, zipping through the wind. As the Mad Designs green flag is up in the air. 78T Tiffany Herring joining us out of Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. She's getting ready to take the green flag. I believe Chuck Hefner's our final car, that white number 7 machine. A little bit of contact nearly in turn. Everybody's able to steer clear from one another, but the green flag is out. You see Herring in that 78, Hefner in the 7. Those 2 cars right here in hot laps. Oh, Lightning McQueen going to join us tonight. Jacob Bright in the 95 out of Forest City, North Carolina. Good-looking race car, zooming through turns 3 and 4. Even the big back spoiler on that machine. You don't get to see that too often. Really cool-looking race car for Bright out of Forest City, North Carolina. About a 45-minute drive up the street. And then Jeff Gordon's in the house. Actually, it's going to be the number 35 machine of Kyle Ladeau out of Duluth, Minnesota, I believe. So we got a little bit of a distance travelers here, but love the Jeff Gordon flamed throwback look to that number 35 machine. It's one of my favorite-looking race cars on the racetrack. I'm a little biased as a former Jeff Gordon fan, but cool to see that race car on the track. As now the caution flag looks like it may be in the air. Cars are coming to a standstill here for the moment. That looks like that will do it with the checkered flag waving as well. Folks, just a moment. We are going to get ready to roll for our opening ceremonies, our prayer, and our national anthem here. Going to see what we have in store now as the calm sort of comes before the storm here in just a little bit. So pace is building. Hot laps are in the books. That means laps from here on out matter. Not that hot laps don't, but hey, we're just getting the fluids into the race cars. But here, lap times, positions, everything is setting the stage for tonight's Rock Galt Memorial, not only for the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series, but also for our weekly divisions. Folks here at home, we miss you. We want you here. You can still make your way. Still plenty of time to get to the racetrack, but if you can't, make sure you ride with us at huntthefront.tv all evening long. And at this moment, folks, looks like it is time. If you can, please rise if you are able and come to a stand as we begin our opening ceremonies. We're going to kick it off with our prayer from track chaplain, Mr. Rodney Poston.
Certainly good to see everybody tonight. And as we get ready to get started, and right before I go into prayer, as I do each week, I share a verse of Scripture. Today's 2 Timothy 4:17. But the Lord stood at my side and gave me strength. And the Lord gives us strength to face different things. And in this, Paul's battling discouragement. Paul's battling the doubt thing that comes to our lives. And so we're thankful that God is there to lead us through that doubt and those seasons we go through. And we're thankful to be able to be here and just be able to race tonight. So bow with me and let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we just thank you for in those times of doubt, Lord, we can come before you, and you're the God that's in Scripture. You're the God that gives us all that we need, Lord, just to be able to overcome doubt, overcome obstacles in our life. You're the God that triumphs and wins in our life, Lord. You're the God that uses us in mighty ways when we give our life to Christ. And, Father, we thank you for the night you've given us just to race and have a pretty day, Lord. It's hot, and so I pray that everyone will just remember to keep drinking plenty of fluids, to stay hydrated. Father, put your hedge of protection around this whole racetrack tonight, and no matter what part we hold, whether we're just a fan watching in the stands cheering on our favorite driver, or whether we're working hard on a crew, or even driving these race cars to get all out of them we can, Father, we pray for that protection. And God, we thank you and we praise you in all that you do for us. In Jesus' name that I pray, amen.
And now, please remain standing for the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Wow, this crowd here at Cherokee Speedway, patriotic and ready for the red, white, and blue to turn to black and white checkered flag at some point here for the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series, the Rock Alt Memorial, Cherokee Speedway, Gaffney, South Carolina. $20,000 to win. And coming up next, it will be the My Race Pass time trials. We'll see who will be the fastest. We'll get interviews with each of the time trial drivers as the heat races come up later on. But right now, we're going to go with our first car set to come up. It should be Will Harrington from Hawkinsville, Georgia, when the cars get rolling out after all the safety vehicles and such. No matter where you are in the country, watching or tuning in from around the globe, this is the track that the legend is made of that calls it the track your mama was warned you about. But, it is something else. It is a track where you go in and you grit and you work and you earn each and every victory. And somebody's going to do that here in the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series. They're going to get their work started with our My Race Pass time trials. You will see that throughout the night. And also throughout the night, you'll see cars moving in and out of the infield. If they need work, they'll go to the Earth Tech Hot Pit. We have our ATC Bolts Rookie of the Year Award and our Race Within a Race. And as I was saying, coming up once we get into our heat races, we'll have our Jericho Transmissions redraw. Those heat races brought to you by Quicksilver Engines, Earnhardt Technologies, MD3, and Mine on Construction, as well as if we get into a last chance qualifier, Augusta Aquatics and Hoosier Tire on board for those. Just some of the good folks that help us get here, and you'll hear us also mention with one to go, our friends from Barron's, the Barron's one to go, and everybody working to get to the Arizona Sports Shirts Victory Lane as a part of the action. Our Gorsuch Green Flag and our Earnhardt Technologies Restart Zone, some of the pillars of racing here in the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series. All right there, William Richard, you were down there talking to Brandon Overton, and Big Sexy got stuff going on. What's the news?
You know, obviously, he's in an awkward position tonight. Comes in as the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series points leader. Last night had a rough night. Not something you want to have when you're on a championship run, but I had to flat out ask him, what are you doing, Brandon? Are you going to go for the win, or are you going to kind of play for points here? He says there's no doubt about it. We're aiming for victory lane here tonight because if you take the checkered flag, those points will come along the way. So Brandon Overton, he's hot and ready, geared up to see if Big Sexy can land in victory lane.
Wow, that is awesome. And he's got a backup car that's not a backup car that's better than any backup car you would ever see?
Yeah, probably the best backup car in the country. That is the car from Eldora.
Get out of here.
Ago. Yes, so he has pulled out all the guns to go to victory lane at the place your mama warned you about. That's how much this race means to these drivers, is we're not just rolling out some measly backup. We're bringing the granddaddy of them all.
I knew you had big news because Bumperjack was telling me he's got video. Go to Bumperjack's online and be able to see the video. Here, we're watching on Hunt the Front TV our My Race Pass Hot Laps. Will Harrington, Hawkinsville, Georgia. 5M Construction, Harvey Trucking, Newport Lighting, Rocket with Clemens Power on the racetrack. The 14 getting it done. There should be 3 cars on the track. Next up, the 2 of Caden Mullinex, Birmingham, Alabama. Odin Secret Beards, the ASC warranty, Black Market Bar and Grill, easy for me to say, Black Diamond Chassis with Clements for power, and the final car out there. They call him the Future, the 14 Machine. Trey Mills, St. Augustine, Florida. Boswell Oil, Fitz Factory Incorporated, Integra. Black Diamond with Clements by HR, thumping up underneath the hood of the Phenom, the 16-year-old. I think I was calling him a 14-year-old, and he's got 2 more years since those days. He is 16 now. Will Harrington, though, a 15, time-wise, 15.382 Mullinex. And Mills, he was our hard charger from last night. The ATC Bolts, MD3 hard charger. Here is Ross Bales from Clover, South Carolina, the 87 Machine. Fred Caldwell Chevrolet, Mid-Atlantic Roofing, Wakefield Logging, Longhorn by WP, Randy Cleary Power Plant in this one. He thumps it down the straightaway. Next car out. Going to be Jordan Kohler, Mount Airy, North Carolina, Ultimate Towing, Traffic Control Safety Solutions, Capital Waste, Longhorn with Coronet, bringing the thump down into the corner. And the final car from St. Clairsville, Ohio, it's the 3. We jumped ahead to Brent Robinson. the Longhorn chassis, Steel Tech BPS Automotive Motion Sensors race car, number 3 on the track. As they sit now, let's see, Kohler going to the top, almost a 14-second, a 15.041. That's a good lap.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick time here. You're going to see they're slowly drifting down. They're going to get to that 14-second bracket. You got to assume as the track continues to get worn up, grouped in, it's going to be fun to see where we can actually land by the end of the night.
Here's Banal, St. Clairsville, Ohio, now living in Rock Hill, South Carolina. TDI Communication, residential improvements, sponsored number 8 now out on the track. And, you know, it wasn't a mechanical. It was just how they came out through our officiating. Trent Ivy, Union, South Carolina. Badger Rental Services, Built South. Harrison Suspension Services, Rocket with Clemens. Petey's boy on the track. Need to get better. Trent moving up to second behind Kohler. 24, that's Michael Brown. You were saying Brown's pretty quick. That's not a bad pass.
Yeah, right now, 4th fastest on the board. Get to see what he can do.
Whoa, Trent Ivy just went up to the top.
We talked about it, a 14.885. We knew we were going to get there.
Somebody get Petey off the floor. He probably fell out of his couch on that one.
And then downtown Michael Brown, now second quick in the 24D.
How about this? North Augusta, Georgia's Clay Knight, Augusta Aquatics, MW Transportation's Barron's, Longhorn by WP with Clemens Power, and a beautiful wrap on that race car as he hammers down coming out of corner number 4. Next up on the racetrack, as we got him 3 out and about, that is Knight. Next up should be the kid from Montana. It is the 09 of Michael Leach, Sun River, Montana. Dust Pods, Big Sky Scientific, Willow Ranch. They have that wasabi beef there at Willow Ranch. Longhorn with Coronet thumping along with him. And the final car, Newport, Tennessee's Boo Crew. Boo Josh Henry. Cantrell Trucking, Piney Grove Beach Freezers, Williams Electric Starters and Alternators. It's a Savage chassis with Vic Hill making the sausage up there underneath as Boo runs it around the racetrack. Ivy, Brown, Kohler, Bales. So 3 of the local guys, because I got to put Kohler up there with his daddy's track up in Elkin. So you got Brown, Ivy, and Bales, all guys that certainly the locals will be cheering for, and they're going to be cheering for this guy, Mount Holly, North Carolina's Chris Fergie Time Ferguson. Live Oak Dentistry, Spartan Transportation, Schaefer's Oil, Zero Chassis, Clemens-powered race car on track. Out there with him, Bakersfield, California's Ethan Dodson, the 74X American Racing Pro Service, Torco Racing Oils, SRI. The Barry Wright with Clemens. This thing is a missile. And the final car, another Clover, South Carolina-based racer. That is the 17 of Tim Vance, DC the second, LLC Concrete and Freeman Machine Longhorn. Out there in the green and white and black. Trent Ivy's got company from Fergie Time. Tick, 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 ticking. He got closer, a 96, but Trent just stomping on it with a 14.88. Next up, we wait and see the 11. This is Jimmy with a Y, Jimmy Johnson from Monroe, Georgia. Be going to Group B here in just a moment, because there's a Group A and a Group B. Johnson on the track. Gus Simpson Trucking, Ralph Grizzle Trucking, Elrod Trucking, Longhorn with Clements on that. And now Gavin Cowan's 219. I know it says 2, but it's actually got a 19 with a PFC brakes helping him get the job done, as is Bill Stein, as he hammers down the Rincon, Georgia racer, sliding around the track, and company coming from Fort Payne, Alabama's Roll Tide, he says Sam Seawright, Coltman Farms, Agcor Steel Longhorn with some Andy Durham up underneath that hood. And Andy knows how to get you down the racetrack real quick. That Baird machine will get it done. But he didn't get it done faster than the guys out ahead of him. Next up, one of the guys that when I was coming here early on in my career, and it was the Carolina Clash and the Ultimate Super Late Model Series, and running around with listening to Mark Huey and Tommy Tedder and all the things. They would be up here, and I'd be looking down from those grandstands, looking up at them and watching them do what they do. The next driver coming out was the man during that time. He was the Ultimate Super Late Model Series points leader. This will be Group B when we get him out. So the cars are sliding out from Group A. There's not a lot of room in the infield to keep all them there, and they need to get working on it. You're watching Hunt the Front TV, the Rock Galt Memorial, $20,000 to win at Cherokee Speedway in Gaffney, South Carolina, literally 100 feet or 200 feet from Interstate 85, just before you get to the North Carolina line. A track that is filled with fame and legend and race fans that are as knowledgeable as any in the country and who love to come here. They have been here all afternoon. Since before noon, race fans have been here at the track your mama taught you to love.
Yeah, it's the place they warn you about with the place you fall in love with. So it's kind of a catch-22 there because you can't stay away. And we've been amped up all day long, all week long, all season long for tonight. I've been calling it the race of the summer for a long time, the Rock Galt Memorial. It's going to be one hot night here at the racetrack as we do get ready for qualifying Group number B. Trent Ivey ended up keeping that quick time for Group A. He did. I believe Chris Ferguson was tucked in second. So already that local flavor right there at the top. This is one of those places where you sort of have that home track advantage. If you've made laps here, you do have an upper hand.
You know what was cool? Trent Ivey, Ferguson, there was maybe half a dozen or maybe 7 or 8 souvenir trailers. It felt like the old-style Busch Series race where you had souvenir trailers for Tommy Houston and all those guys that would be running. Larry Pearson from down in Spartanburg when he was running. And it was really something to see. And, man, certainly appreciate, the wisdom of learning from, journalists down here like Gene Murphy, who would write so well about dirt. He's tuned in and watching from his home in Spartanburg with his family tonight. And want to say hey to him. And so many people out there in, the streaming world that are watching. And you could see a full house here. You promote, you bring in the entertainment. That will bring the fans here, and it'll even up the streaming crowd that comes as we want the streaming world to see where Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series goes, tracks like Cherokee, Lancaster, and all the rest on our schedule. We want to make sure that folks see these beautiful places and the ones that we love. And here he comes, Casey Roberts, Toccoa, Georgia, Simpson Trucking, Ralph Grizzle Trucking, Elrod Trucking, Longhorn with Clemens, out onto the racetrack, the familiar 101. Many laps here, and down the straightaway he goes. Multi-time Ultimate Super Late Model Series champion, and following him should be the current points leader for that group. It is Ray Parton, Rutherford in North Carolina. Parton Lumber, Forest Products, Longhorn by WP, Clemens-powered race car from over in the western part of North Carolina. And lastly, a kid out of Hampton, Georgia. Another Georgia driver, this one, the Wild Thing, Air Force, Ashton Winger, is RVS, Recreational Vehicle Select, Credit Union Remarketing Solutions, Super K Express Trucking, Rocket with Durham Power, sliding around the racetrack. You got to watch Little Winger. He will let it go and go and go. Loves the high side. Look how far he's up there. Almost to Kyle Larson line, and Wing puts a 15.091, first car out there in Group B on top. Yeah. Oh, for a moment.
For a moment.
Yeah.
A couple of heavy hitters rolling out.
Yeah. I think this one's pretty good. Evans Georges, Brandon Overton, our series points leader that narrowed a bit last night as he had trouble. The Muscle Factory, Garento Southern, Big Dong Stub and Tree, Infinity by Wells Motorsports, Clemens powered 76. That's the Eldora car right there. The yellow top signifying that's the car he took up there to Ohio. And following him, Ocala, Florida's Jackson Heiss, the Fitz Factory, Triple Crown Trailers, Down to Earth Trailers, Black Diamond with H&R Power underneath our ATC Bolts. Point leader in the rookies, Overton goes up to the top with an 03 on a 15. And now Benji Hicks, Mount Airy, North Carolina. The Barron's, Coleman Farms, T&K Enterprises, double nickel. Sliding around this racetrack, Overton, Winger, Parton, Hicks. Will Dykes waves the checker. How about Big Sexy going faster?
Yeah, Big Sexy right there. And that may actually be the quick time. We'll have to double-check the Ivy time, but a 14.88 from Overton. Another $100 bonus was given up pre-race by
who did that?
RKM Landscaping from right up here in the upstate. So RKM Landscaping, a $100 bonus to our quick time for the Super Late Models.
It's a few hundredths of a second. Overton is in front of Ivy, but only by an eyelash. Anthony Sanders, Spartanburg, South Carolina, M&W Transportation, Sanders Headliners, Big A Graphics. Problems for the 421. That don't look good.
Yeah, not good when you have to roll it down slow.
Fayetteville, North Carolina's Ethan Wilson, Carolina Boys Landscaping, Horry County Carpet and Tile, Carolina Sod Farm, Longhorn with Clemens. That is that race car, and he goes out into the wall. Oh my gosh, he just snapped the wall there. That's why Mom was warning you. Here's the 33, Jeremy Fowler, Landrum, South Carolina. The Blue Diamond Motorsports, Davis Diesel Service, Dark Corner Services, TNT Chassis. As he comes around, wow. Wilson just smacking the wall there on that one. And we got a replay here on Hunt the Front TV. That's one of the cool things about your subscription. He just goes in so deep, and the thing just wouldn't turn. It was plowing, but he hit it with the right rear just a bit. And the look that Bumper Jack, who is standing next to me, getting ready for his group from the Mid-East 602 late models to come out, I got a feeling he's pretty concerned about it. So we got an announcement from William Richard for local PA. What's up?
Got a couple of cars that we do need to get cleared out of the way, blocking the parking lot here. We got a red RAV4, plate number SYG181. Also a gray Ford Explorer and a black Hummer. We need those vehicles moved, please.
There you go. Bumper Jack, move your black Hummer when you get out of here. It's usually up on like 26s. This is Josh Putnam from Florence, Alabama. Horn Trucking and Salvage, Thornton Iron and Metal, CFR Racing Performance, Rocket XR1 with Pro Power, the series champion from last year. And how about Zach Mitchell? Enery, South Carolina. Kid Quick, Clay Hood Grading, South Carolina Chemicals, Fox Shocks and Barons, Longhorn by Wells with Clements Power. He charges down the straightaway. Been doing it here in the upstate since he was a kid in go-karts. Donald McIntosh, Dawsonville, Georgia. The H&H Auto Sales, Coltman Farms, Bill Steinbach, Double Nickel, Clements Powered 79, scooting around this racetrack. I don't know. McIntosh looked pretty quick. He moves up to fourth. Best of the bunch out of that one. Oh, Zach
Mitchell, 14.99. We've mentioned those 14-second laps. Look how 14.88 is about been the threshold thus far.
So Mitchell would start in the outside or on the pole of Heat 4 with that good of a run. Coming up now, a legend. I'll let you do this one.
Rambo Dennis Franklin in the 2 machine. Look at the XL Racing chassis with Clements Power, Hammocks of Gaffney, Nichols Plumbing, and Turkey's Towing on the side of that machine. Rambo off of turn number 2. Going to see if he can put the power down the backstretch into turn number 3.
This is the veteran Doug Sanders from here in Gaffney, South Carolina. Sanders Headliners, local beekeepers, Big A Custom Graphics, Double Nickel with Clements for the veteran driver. And they should be joined by last night's winner, I believe. It is the 70, Jeff Smith, jazz hammering at the house Grassy. Well, we got the Grassy Smith Memorial here at Cherokee Speedway. That's a great race to come to. Jeff Smith, Orange Towing of Gastonia, DZ Enterprises, Superior Pools of South Carolina, Longhorn with Clements for power. It's still got a little bit of that champagne and, all the confetti. Decent run for him. Big Orange, the Orange Crush, the Kubota Genuine Parts 10 from Milton, Florida. This is JJ Joseph Joyner out on the course right now. Gets that tractor moving. We got the crop to bring in right now, and the 10 car out there wailing it and bailing it in the Kubota Genuine Parts 10. He's followed by the 16 of the man, here in this area of the state of South Carolina. Rock Hill's Bad Boy, Ben Watkins, Mega Plumbing, Parks Heating and Cooling, Langley Collision Center, Longhorn by WP with Clemens Power. And he's putting every bit of that power down on this racetrack right now. He wants to avenge last night's run. He comes out of the corner. This is Watkins, the final car on the track here in our My Race Pass qualifying. It's not going to be good.